Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. This is Take It to the Hizzy Fantasy Hockey TITTH number 126. I'm your host, Justin Bruni. I got Nick Davis with me tonight. Happy Monday, Nick. How we doing, sir?
Good. Finally, the Mets started baseball. I was pretty bummed about them getting delayed with the COVID situation in Washington, but just watching DeGrom strike out some Phillies and trying to chill out. I got my day off tomorrow, so chilling.
Nice. Cool. Yeah, the Cubs are off to an okay start. I didn't appreciate the opening day drop against the Pirates, but bounced back with a couple of wins. So that's some good stuff, some can-do stuff there from the Cubs. Let's take it to them this year, boys. Not wait till next year. How's everything else? How's the weekend?
It was good. Saw family. I actually stopped. So my brother, he has like a racetrack. He uses it for like dirt biking and like his go-karts and stuff. And cool. he was letting some of the kids that were there use the track and their like go-karts and stuff. Well, one of the kids brought the go-kart right over to us, and he did not turn it off and didn't press the brake or like park it or whatever. And he was like, help. And where it was going was like a 30-foot cliff off where the house was. So I ended up being the one to jump off and be able to catch it. So that was cool. But
you're my hero.
Yeah.
Are you the Easter Bunny?
Yeah, something like that. But it was cool seeing family. Saw Allie's family, saw my family. So just trying to do my rounds.
Right on. Yeah, we went down to DC, checked out the blossoms, had some drinks, mostly a lot of walking for looking at some trees. You know how that goes. But it's a thing here that people do apparently, and now I'm here, so now I'm doing things that people do here. So got to go check out some pretty looking trees. So it's not bad though. It's a nice time, good little walk around, hang out. Just a lot of people for me right now. I'm not used to it.
Yeah.
I'm not even used to the roads being this stacked right now, after COVID, so yeah, it is what it is. But
talking about the roads, man, I feel like some people need to do a refresher course, especially around 270. It's awful. I feel like people just forgot, and I'm just like, you can't do that on the road, yo. I don't know. It's really bad. I try and be safe, but man, it's a blessing to be able to come home every day,
Get your head out of your ass. I mean, your phone. Get your head out of your phone and drive, please. I mean, it's really ridiculous. What I hate, Nick, is those huge effing gaps in traffic, right? You're like, why is this so slow right here? Why is this slow? Let me HOV for a couple minutes and I'll scoot back in. I'll assess the situation, right? Hop in the HOV. Oh, this dumbass up here is holding up 20 cars because his head's in his phone. Cool. I'll pass him now.
How did you live that long? Just curious, I
don't know. They're pretty safe because they're just head down the entire time. But anyways, let's jump into it here. Let's go into some of our best bets and monkey knife fight props for tonight. We'll jump into it. Really quick though, what did you think of that Carolina trade with the Jets? Sammy D.
Good for Sammy. I liked him when he was coming out. I had really strong hopes for him because I felt that his personality lent to him doing very well. But it didn't work out in New York. And honestly, right now, he's put in a position where if he fails, then he's not an NFL quarterback. If you fail with all those weapons, McCaffrey, if Mike Davis is still there, whatever, he's not. Okay, so DJ Moore, there's a bunch of guys on that team that he can be successful, a lot more success than what was available in New York. But I feel like if he doesn't perform, then he's no longer an NFL quarterback to me. He's just a backup.
Yeah, it's a good second opportunity, I'll say, for sure. I mean, you mentioned those weapons, CMC, Moore, Roby Anderson. Is he excited about the trade? I don't know yet. I feel like it's more of a facepalm situation for him. I would say he's probably the loser, and DJ Moore is the winner of the trade, right? DJ Moore kind of reminds me of a little bit of that Jamison Crowder style. coming out of the slot, playing around the offensive line. So we'll see. It's definitely something we got to see come to fruition. We can't just be saying, oh, yeah, home run for the Panthers. Like, we don't know. Come on now. Way too early to tell. On paper, it looks like it's a good fit, but we'll see what comes from it. But I would think that Sam Darnold's pretty excited, and I would think that Teddy Bridgewater could be a potential winner, because if the Panthers don't see you having a future there, you're going somewhere else, hopefully. So I hope he can get out of there. We're going to be back with football this week, guys, this Sunday. So be sure to jump back into the Hizzy for some football talk. We'll be going live 11 a.m. Eastern time. So be sure to check us out for Ticket to the Hizzy TITTH number 128. Let's jump into some props for tonight. Let's get into it. Oh, hey, look, somebody already jumping on the football talk. DJ Moore back to wide receiver one space next year, says Du Bois. Let's get him.
He can. I mean, he has the ability. I've seen some stats about him. I do believe in him. It's just with Sammy D, he wasn't really successful in New York. I thought he could overcome that, but we'll definitely see next year. DJ Moore has the talent to be wide receiver one.
Absolutely. All right, enough football. Let's get into the real stuff. Let's clock in for some hockey here. Let's see. Let's jump into some monkey knife fight props. First up, I've got Alec Martinez in a points battle with Vladimir Tarasenko. Tarasenko gets a half-point bonus here. This is also paired up with Jonathan Marchessault versus David Perron, with David Perron with a half-point fantasy bonus. I'm going the Kings on this one. Fade the Blues, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. It's kind of interesting that the defenseman's going against the winger, but I really don't believe in the Blues at all. I think the Knights are going to lock them up.
Yep, absolutely. I'm fading the Blues all the way until they give me a reason to. They are just bad right now. We'll get to them a little bit here. They do have a good matchup with the Vegas Golden Knights at home, at least at home. Next up, we've got a points battle with Mikko Rantanen versus Kirill Kaprizov, Rookie of the Year candidate for the Minnesota Wild. Kaprizov gets a 1.5 point bonus here. I think that's too much. Next up, it's Cal Maker versus Devin Toews. Devin Toews gets a half-point fantasy bonus. I'm going Kaprizov and Maker here. What do you think?
I was going to say the exact same thing. I mean, These are kind of like easy picks almost.
1.5 for Kaprizov. That's a bit much. I mean, this guy is super active on the puck. He gets points all the time. I think that's a little irresponsible there by Monkey Knife Fight. Go hammer that one down as fast as you can, guys. And Cole Maker, potential defenseman of the year, Norris Trophy winner. So I'm going to ride with him all day. Absolutely. A half-point bonus just doesn't pique my interest as much as that Kaprizov 1.5. So definitely lay Kaprizov and Maker tonight in Monkey Knife Fight. Next up, we've got Austin Matthews versus Mark Giordano. Giordano with a 1.5 fantasy bonus. And then you got Mitch Marner versus John Tavares. John Tavares with a 1.5 fantasy bonus. I got to go Matthews and Tavares here.
I was going to go Matthews and Marner. Marner's hot. Like, he's one of the top scorers on – I think he is the top scorer on Toronto. I haven't checked the stats, past week. But he was up there, and I've been kind of impressed on how he's been coming back in terms of, like, leading the team in statistical categories. Give me Matthews and give me Marner.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to hammer those down all day long. Let me see here. Other than those Monkey Knife Fight props, my best bets tonight, I've got Cam Talbot over 30 saves, and I like the Coyotes to take home a money line win. My early eyes, led me to the Coyotes plus 1.5 and Edmonton plus 1.5. And man, Edmonton just scared me a little bit too much to cover. They actually have a losing record versus Montreal, and I guess we can just dive right into the first game here with that. So I did wind up taking the Coyotes money line. That's like one of my best bets for tonight. I think that plus 115, just because they're going on the road to the Kings, is just really good value. I mean, the Coyotes have been playing really well. They're scoring a ton. Kings are good, but they're not overwhelmingly good, right? They like to cover a lot. They keep games close, but they're not going to blow you away with their scoring. So let's start off with the Oilers and the Canadians. We've got the Oilers coming in at plus 1.5, road dogs, plus 110 on the money line. I like them on the money line as well. It's just the Canadians are back with previous handful of games from being postponed for a good while, and they've been playing very, very good hockey. Montreal 5-3-2 in their last 10, 3-1 versus Edmonton on the year, and that scared me a little bit more. Where do you come in on this one, Nick? We got a total here of about 6.5 goals. They're expecting a lot of scoring.
So I've actually looked through the trends that were here, and it's actually pointing to the under. So the total has gone under in 5 of Montreal's last 5 games against Edmonton, and the total has gone
Mhm.
under in 11 of Montreal's last 15 games played on a Monday. A little specific, but
Yeah.
interesting stat. And then also with Edmonton, total has gone under in 4 of Edmonton's last 6 games. Total has
Mhm.
gone under in 4 of Edmonton's last 6 games against a North opponent or the North
Mhm.
Conference. And then,
Mhm.
yeah, they have the same stat again for some reason. But yeah, I think that the game is going to go to the under. But I do believe that, I mean, if it's going to the under, honestly, I feel like Montreal is going to kind of lock up Edmonton if it's going that way.
Mhm. Yeah, I like the under as well. Montreal also 5-1 to the under in their last 6, so there's plenty of value on both sides. And I think the number should probably be at about 5.5. I think that's a little bit too high for two teams that have been trending to the under, so that's really good value there. If you guys are looking at this one live, Edmonton is up 1-0, so they are covering right now. They came in as the plus 1.5 option. Man, I just love scooping up Edmonton at plus 1.5 whenever I can, because with Draisaitl and McDavid, man, anything can happen just that fast. That offense just has a ton of pace. I'll tell you what, though, that pace didn't come out flying tonight. They started the game down like, I don't know, 10-1, being outshot. Literally, they had one shot through 5 minutes. Now they're up, and I think they actually have gone to break at this point. So we'll check back in on that game here in a little bit. Who do you like straight up here? You like Edmonton or Montreal?
If I'm gonna go with the trends, and which I usually do, I'm gonna
Mm,
go with Montreal. But they're
okay.
only gonna win by 1 goal. Um, because Edmonton just like keeps their game so close.
Mm-hmm.
They have that firepower, but I feel like Montreal plays a little bit more of a disciplined game. They don't really
Mm-hmm.
depend on their high firepower. They depend on
Yep.
a disciplined team effort. If it's going to go to the under, I feel like Montreal is going to win this. The over is 6, so I'm going to say it's going to be a 3-2 game.
I got 6.5 over at Jazz Sports. That's pretty good. So 6 sounds pretty closer, or sounds a lot closer to a push. All right,
Yeah.
next up we've got the Flyers going to the Bruins, coming in at plus 1.5 on the puck line. Total here is at 5.5 goals. Flyers are plus 150 on the money line. Bruins are minus 185 on the money line. Who you got here?
Ooh, man, I really like Boston, but
Mm-hmm.
let me see. Well, they've been actually they've been alternating wins for the past like 10
Mm-hmm.
games. Philly's been kind of sliding.
Mm-hmm.
4 losses, then 2 losses, then another, or 2 wins, then another 2 losses.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna go Boston here. I'm gonna say it's gonna go to the under with some trends. So total's gone under in 10 of Boston's last 13 games. Also
Mm-hmm.
under in 10 of Boston's last 15 games at home, and then total has gone under in 7 of Boston's last 10 games this season. So
Mm-hmm.
give me the under. I don't know what's going on with Philadelphia releasing or putting Gosifer through waivers. Like, I'm not really sure about that, but they're not the team that they were last year, and Carter Hart's been a big part of that, letting in a lot of goals
Yep.
for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Tonight, I do like the Bruins to win, but I do like the Flyers to cover the plus 1.5 at minus 180. And I will be on the under as well. The Bruins are coming off a very high scoring game, but they played yesterday. So, it's going to be back to back. I think that they're the better team and they'll take home the win, but I don't expect a ton of scoring from either side. Bruins are coming off a really big performance. They stuck one in my eye. I picked the Penguins to win. I picked the Penguins to cover. They couldn't do either. It was a 7-5 victory that they laid over my guys in the Penguins yesterday. Killed me, burned down my parlay. It sucked, man. It sucked. So the Bruins, they owe me one. I'm taking one tonight. And like I said, I like the under as well. I don't think Boston just continues that heavy flow of scoring 2 games in a row. And Boston actually is 10-3 in their last 13 to hit the under. Philly's the one that's been hitting the over. They're 11 out of their last 14 to the over. But I think Boston's a better team. They'll set up the pace of play. Philly's going to have a hard time, penetrating the offensive zone and just keeping a consistent rhythm.
Philly's also 0-5 straight up in their last 5 games against Boston.
Boston, you owe me. Don't screw this trend up. Come on. That's a home run. Don't screw it up. All right, next up we've got, who is it? The Avalanche visiting the Wild. The Avalanche coming in as road favorites, minus 185 on the money line. Let's see, to cover the 1.5 for the Wild, minus 175. We're looking at a 5.5 goal total here. I like the Avalanche to win, and I like the Wild to cover. Both teams have been playing very well, and I think we could see them matched up in the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Colorado's gonna win this, even though Minnesota beat Vegas two nights in a row, basically. But then they lost to San Jose the 2 games previous. Like, that's kind of embarrassing.
Yeah, it's
Get
not
your shit
great.
together. Yeah, but Colorado's been smoking. With 5-2 win against Anaheim, 9-3 win against Arizona, 3-2 against St. Louis, 2-1 against St. Louis. I'm gonna say Colorado. Let me see if there's anything. Yeah, total has gone over in 4 of Colorado's last 5 games on the road, and they're also 5-2 straight up in their last 7 games against Minnesota.
I like the over here. I do. I mean, I have Cam Talbot over the 30 saves, so I think that he's in play tonight for a lot of work. But that's just because Colorado just gets so many damn shots on goal here. But was it Colorado 8-3 in their last 11 to the over? So I think there's some favorability there, and I do think that they set the pace. But I think that the Wild can keep up. I've got Minnesota coming in at 6-3-1 in their last 10. Colorado 0-8-2. These guys are just unstoppable right now. So give me Colorado for the win. They are paying minus 185 on the money line. I think that's actually the best bet here. I wouldn't really mess with the number. I think just take the money line. The total too, I think, is a little bit more subject to interpretation. I think that might be something to take live.
So here's an interesting stat about Colorado's shot volume. In their last 3 games, Colorado has put 43 shots on goal per game. Minnesota only put on 25.33. That's incredible. That's wild. There you go. That's a lot of shells coming at you, you know.
But that's how it goes in hockey, though. Like I was watching my Blackhawks yesterday. They outshot their opponent, Nick, 2-1, 40-21, and we lost 3-0.
Ouch.
What do you do? What do you do about that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're playing technically sound defense. You're getting pucks on net. It didn't matter. You know what I mean? So I mean, but the difference is like, let's say the Wild gets the 21 shots, and let's say Colorado gets the 40. I think that produces hitting the over, right? Because Minnesota, I think they have some better, more closers than just Patrick Kane like the Blackhawks. So
correct.
All right, let's get into the next one. I got the Senators visiting the Jets. Senators coming in as road dogs, plus 1.5 on the puck line, minus 140 at that spot. Over under is at 6 goals even. Senators plus 180 on the money line. Jets home favorites at minus 220. I mean, I got to hammer the Jets here, right? I mean, Ottawa's been playing good recently, but I don't think that they're going to overtake the Jets. Ottawa 7-3 ATS in their last 10. Same for the Jets. They're 2 really good hockey teams here. I actually like the Jets to win by 2. I like them to cover the 1.5.
Yeah, I'm gonna say in their last 10 games, Ottawa's 3-6-1, Winnipeg 7-2-1. Even their last 3, Ottawa's 1-2, Winnipeg's 2-1. So I'm gonna say Winnipeg's gonna take this. I'm gonna say I'm gonna say over because the total has gone over in 5 of Ottawa's last 6 games on the road. And let me see, Winnipeg, the total has gone over in 4 of Winnipeg's last 6 games played on a Monday. Man, I really hate those day ones, but whatever. It's a pattern.
I've got Ottawa hitting the under 6 out of their last 7.
There's a bunch of different stats. So, total's gone under in 4 of Winnipeg's last 5 games played in April. So,
okay. I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. Winnipeg, they're 29-9 on the year ATS. I'm very comfortable picking them to cover the 1.5. That is paying out at, where'd you go? Minus 110. So they don't hate it. Or I'm sorry, plus 110. They love it. plus 110. They haven't lost 3 games in a row all season long. So I really trust the Winnipeg Jets tonight. Go ahead and hammer them down on the money line. I do really feel comfortable with that minus 1.5, though. I think they can win this one 3-1, 4-1, and still hit the under. Let's see. Next up, we've got the Golden Knights visiting the Blues. Golden Knights coming in as road favorites, plus 170 to cover the minus 1.5 on the puck line. Over under is at 5.5 goals. And looking at a money line value for the Golden Knights at minus 155. Blues home dogs plus 125 on the money line. I mean, eventually the Blues have to win up against a team that isn't just god-awful like the Sharks, right? Although the Sharks are on fire right now. They're doing really well. But still, The Blues, they got to run into one. So I don't necessarily feel worldly comfortable picking the Knights. I have been saying everywhere, if you've been tuning into this channel, if you've been watching me on social media, fade the Blues, whatever reason is. Mighty Duck Day, the Blues suck, the other team's better, the trends are better for the other team, the trends are terrible for the Blues, whatever it is. No money on the Blues. They are not trustworthy whatsoever. I really like the Vegas Golden Knights at minus 155, but I'm very hesitant to put my own money on it because those runs come to an end, Nick. What can you do to get me to put my money on Vegas tonight?
So St. Louis is 0-5 straight up in their last 5 games this season.
They stink.
They're 0-7 straight up in their last 7 games at home.
They stink.
The total is going to go. I feel like the total is going to go under. So total's gone under in 5 of St. Louis' last 5 games, and also their last 5 games against a West opponent. I mean, what was the over under again? 5.5.
5.5.
So I'm going to say that's going to be under because I see a 3-2 win. I'm not saying that Vegas is going to blow them out, but St. Louis is not good enough to get that. Let in one less goal. That's all I can say. So, I don't think they're going to do it.
Recently, I've seen the Blues go up on the Kings early in games and still wind up losing. Like score the first goal, score in the first period, still wind up losing the game. They're just not a whole team right now. I mean, they're missing a lot. What it is, I can't tell you. I'm not a Blues fan. Don't watch enough of them. As a Blackhawks fan, cheering from the rafters. But that comes with its own price too, right? Blackhawks are doing really good for a while now. We also stink. So goes hand in hand. It goes hand in hand. You got to be careful. But yeah, I really like the Kings to win. The total, again, very open to interpretation, but both teams are trending to the under. Vegas 4-1 in their last 5. St. Louis 5-0 in their last 5. So I think if you're going with the trend, that's the play. There. All right, next up we've got Maple Leafs, Toronto Maple Leafs, road favorites in Calgary, minus 155 to cover the puck line of minus 1.5. Over under is at 5.5 goals, and Maple Leafs minus 165 on the money line. Flames home dogs plus 135 on the money line. Any value for the Flames here, who just took a 4-2 loss to Toronto? I think was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah. What's the puck line?
1.5 always to start.
No, there's no value. They lost by 2 to Toronto.
And they were up. They were up, I believe, 2-0 or what? Yeah, 2-0 on Toronto. Yeah, no, that's not right. They were up 2-1. Don't listen to me. They're up 2-1. Toronto scored like a really quick goal, like within a minute of the game, and then they went up 2-1. That's what it was. Sorry.
I could see this game going with a 2, like Calgary going up 2, and then Toronto just coming back with 3 and winning the game. And I think that would hit the under. So the total has gone under in 10 of Calgary's last 15 games against Toronto. Last 6 of the last 9 games played in April. And then also total has gone under in 6 of Calgary's last 8 games when playing as the underdog. So I see a 3-2 victory happening like that. I think Toronto's kind of like cooled down in terms of like having huge distance between their wins, like the goal differential. But they are getting those wins. So I think they're regressing back to the mean. So that's why I'm going to say the under.
I'm going to say it's going to be a close game just because they're coming off of yesterday's game. They're coming off a back-to-back. Both teams are going to be a little bit tired. So, yeah, I'm going to say Toronto wins, but I think Calgary can cover in this one. I know it's not the safest pick in the world. I don't feel great about it. Still the Flames at the end of the day. They're saying it's minus 190 to hit it, so it's not out of this world value. But at the same time, it's decent value. So give me the Maple Leafs to win and the Flames to cover. I'll take the under 5.5 goals. All right, last game up here we've got, Arizona Coyotes traveling to Los Angeles Kings. Coyotes coming in as road dogs plus 115 on the money line. Kings minus 145 on the money line. To cover, the Coyotes are at minus 250 to cover the plus 1.5. So that's probably the best bet of my night. But like I said, I wound up taking the money line because I want the value. Give me the plus option. Do you think either of these teams can hit over the 5.5?
Over the 5.5? Ooh. No. And why I'm going to say that is because Los Angeles has been sliding. They lost 2 games to San Jose. That's awful. Then
Yep.
they had won a game against the Knights, but then lost against the Knights. Before that, 2 losses. It's just like they're sliding right now. Arizona is one of those teams that is like they are the
Steamrolling.
definition of, they're the definition of middle tier
Mhm.
because they are steamrolling the lower guys like Anaheim, San
Mhm.
Jose. But their last, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games. Out of their last 6 wins, the only win that didn't come from San Jose or Anaheim was one
Mhm.
game against Colorado. Like, that's not a good path to
Colorado's
take to the
0-8-2.
playoffs.
They're 0-8-2.
Well, I mean, I don't
That was
know.
one of their losses. You know what I mean? I'm just no.
Yeah.
I hear exactly what you're saying. The teams that they're playing right now, they're definitely doormats in the NHL,
Yeah.
right? They're
Yeah.
meant for stomping on. But look at the scoring: 3 goals, 4, 3, 4, 5, 5. You have to go all the way back to March 22nd, the last time they had a 1-goal game.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, but it's just like I feel like Los Angeles is like keeping these games a little bit closer, and they're just not able to get over that hump. So I think that they're going to be able to cool off Arizona's scoring. Like, I mean, they are scoring a lot, but I think Los Angeles plays a little bit more disciplined than what they do.
Right. I mean, Arizona right now, this recent streak, it's got them in the playoff hunt. So they actually own a playoff spot right now. The Kings, they've been good. They're profitable, right? They cover all the time. They cover the spread. But they're just that intermediate team. They're like that middle tier, like you just referenced, in my opinion, if not below that.
Yeah.
Arizona, their work. Maybe they did have a top 10 pick at some point this season for next year. They don't anymore. They're in the playoff discussion, 4th in the division. They're still 7 points behind 3rd, but they're 3 points ahead of St. Louis, who is completely tumbled out of the top spot, or not top spot, but in a playoff position, right? So I think that I'm going to keep riding with them, man. I think that they're going to be a good pick for tonight. I do think that the Kings can cover, but at the same time, well, no, they can't cover because they're the home option. If it was reverse roles, I'd be taking the Kings on the +1.5.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But because they're not getting that option, I'm going to ride with the Coyotes on the +1 115. Maybe I'm getting a little bit selfish. Maybe I'm trying to steal money here. I might get caught. But when I'm looking at +110 versus -250, they got me.
Yeah.
I mean, that's their job. That's what they're supposed to do. But I like that value a lot more for a team that I could see winning 3-1, 4-1. I think that opportunity is still there because the offense for the Kings, it's not overwhelming. They don't kill you.
Not overwhelming at all.
Yeah. All right, cool. Let's jump over to our fantasy waiver wire talk. Before we do, if you guys haven't had the opportunity, please like and share the video and follow us on YouTube /Take It to the Hizzy. Let's jump into it here. First guy up, we've got Nick Ritchie of the Boston Bruins, only 19% owned. I'm not going to say he's on fire, but he's producing 10 fantasy points. Did have a -2.5 the game before that, but 13, 5, 19. Going back a handful of games here, you've got a game with a goal and assist. Game with just a lot of shots and blocks, playing very technically sound defense, a goal, a couple of shots in the next game. Does have that, down game of the -2.5. But, in yesterday's big win, 7-5, he grabbed 2 assists, +1. I like it. What do you think?
He gets a lot of shots on goal, and then if he's not doing that, he's assisting. So I would love to have him on my team. And in the Bruins, they just seem to have like a factory of solid players. Like, how Vegas has they drafted all those guys in the expansion draft. That's the glue guys. They kind of build those guys year in and year out. And I feel like that he's one of those guys that's going to be coming up for the new guard.
He's playing on that second line with David Krejci and David Pastrnak, so it's a pretty good setup. It's pretty good.
Hell
it's a pretty
yeah.
good deal.
Be rocking that.
That's very similar to our Andrej Palat, logic, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Plays with good players. Pick them up. So 19% owned. I absolutely love that value. Go and grab them. What are you going to say?
I was just going to go on to the next one.
Go on to the next one. This guy's super hot.
Martin Jones of San Jose Sharks. So, he got the last 4 wins for the San Jose Sharks. Good for them. Glad to see that.
Yeah.
He actually had a shutout against LA, so that's extra points for you. He had 28 in that game. Before that, he had 14 points, and then after that, he had 20 points. So right now, he's a hot hand. Might as well roll with it. He has from the board that we're seeing right now, he has 4 20-point games, 20 points or over. So if you need some serious points from your goalie, I would go grab Martin Jones. He's only 42%, or he is 42% roster, so it's about a 50-50 shot, but he's worth going to see if he's available.
6 wins out of his last 7 games.
That's incredible.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Yeah, go and grab Martin Jones. The dude's on fire. I mean, like I said, 50% owned. It's a coin flip if he's available, but that's a shot that's going to get me looking at the waivers for sure. Next up, we've got Jared McCann, center for the Penguins. Excuse me. Scored a goal in his last game in that 5-7 loss, so that was crucial for them. Did have 5 shots on net. Gets a lot of pucks to the net, but he's just been really consistent. 7.5, 3 points, 12.5, 20, 7.5, 4.5, 5.5 points. His last 10 games or so, he's been super consistent. Only 20% owned, 3% plus in the last 3 days. This is a guy I want to own, not a guy I want to stream. What do you think?
I mean, yeah, he's on the Penguins. Penguins are one of those teams that, even though I really despise them more than just about any other team in the NHL, I still respect their offense because I've seen what they can do to a lot of good teams. And just having a guy on the Penguins and around the players that are on that offense, I would take a shot on any of them, like we were just mentioning.
Yeah, exactly. He's getting power play time. He's a second line center in the middle of Evan Rodriguez and Jason Zucker, who's also been playing very well recently. So fire him up in all formats if you can. Not a large percentage, only 20% owned. So I think he should be available in your league. Who's the next guy, Nick?
Frank Vatrano. Did I get it right? Vatrano?
Frank the Tank. No, I'm just kidding. I don't have that there.
Frank Vatrano. He's a winger for the Panthers. He's only 19% rostered, but his previous 3 games, he is 3 goals, 2 assists, with 10 shots on goal, 2 blocks. The game before that, he had So he went the most recent game, 1 goal, 0 assists. Game before that, 1 goal, 1 assist. Game before that, 1 goal, 1 assist. Like, he is hot right now. So, get the hot hand. I would definitely try and get him right now.
Yeah, Frank the Tank. Give me some Frank Vatrano. He's not someone I need to own, but definitely someone I want to stream right now. He's just scoring. And the thing is the Panthers are winning, right? What is that? 3, 4, 5, 6 wins in a row? Like, they're on fire. He's a big part of it, and they're winning tight games, 3-0, 5-2, 3-2, 4-1. Like, he's a part of their offense, so I like him a lot. Give me some Frank Vatrano, but he's not a must-own. Get him on your team, but I don't know if you'll have him there next week still. So, all right, cool. Let's jump into some good news, bad news. Not going to be too long of a show today, guys. We're going to be probably cutting it around 45 minutes or so, not even. Let's see. First up, we've got Vancouver Canucks. They've got a COVID outbreak. Good news is, well, I guess we'll start with the bad news. You got COVID, right? Good news is you actually get some days off, Nick. This is crazy how much hockey that we're getting right now. The NHL said that they won't shorten the Vancouver schedule, but don't you have to kind of see this as somewhat of a positive?
Yeah. I mean, these guys have been playing hockey. Like, it feels like almost nonstop.
Every other day for everybody.
Yeah. And, they're getting a break, but, it sucks that it became really widespread. Like 16 players, that's a lot of guys.
That is a lot of guys. But at the same time, like, we don't the severity levels are going to differ from everybody, right? That's how COVID always is. But I feel like this could be one of those situations that we even saw in other leagues where teams had success, like in baseball and football after coming back from COVID, just because of that pure amount of rest. That's all you're supposed to be doing anyways. You're not supposed to be doing that much. So I feel like for a team that's, 3 points out of a playoff spot, you come back. I mean, yeah, you're going to be playing some games back to back, but is that rest going to matter? Is it going to add up? And I feel like it actually could, and another bit of news out of Vancouver, they've got Thatcher Demko that just got a 5-year deal. Do you know how much he got out of that?
I have no clue. I did see that he was signed. From what I'm seeing, he
25 million. 25 million. Yeah. So $5 million annually. That's pretty good. My boy Crawford was raking in 6. So 5's pretty good for a young goalie, that you're committing to. Another, Bad news is you got, Holtby there. Like, what are you going to do? Who's going to take that contract?
Seriously, like you can't like I feel like you can't have that much. Like Demko's, I've had a lot of hope for Demko, and when Holtby was signed, I was kind of like disappointed because I was like, man, like that was kind of like a jump the gun kind of thing. Like they're like, oh my gosh, he really wants to come to Vancouver. We got to give him some money, and it ended up not working out. In terms of like Holtby is not the same guy that was in Washington. And now you signed Demko, so you got a lot of money tied up in goaltending. Unless Holtby starts performing, it's not going to be worth what you're doing. So you're kind of like hamstrunging your team. Like,
no, they're going to have to move Holtby. I would like them to do it at the deadline, but I don't know if that's going to happen. Do you have any buyers right now that could take him on?
I was gonna say San Jose, but Martin Jones is hot as hell right now. So, maybe Edmonton. He'd probably be better than what they have now, and definitely give them like a defensive ability in a sense. But like I say, he lets in one, he lets in two, he lets in three, and the Edmonton Oilers are like the only team that I see that like they can go 1-for-1 with any team in the NHL for goals.
You know what I wouldn't hate is a Dallas Stars move. The Dallas Stars, they've got Jake Ottinger and Landon Bowe right now. They're exactly. They're technically, I mean, they're in the playoff hunt, because they had so many games postponed. They have less games played than the Blackhawks, obviously still less points, but they could go on a run here. That's a team that I could see buying into, a goalie that needs a resurgence. I think didn't they do it before with the goalie from Tampa Bay?
Ben Bishop.
Yeah, and he's on LTIR. So, I mean, I think that's a good move. You got him for another year. Obviously, if Bishop does come back next year, that could be problematic. But you get him off in the offseason. It's a 1-year rental. But literally, that's all he is. He's only got this year and next year left for Vancouver. So maybe you get rid of him this year. You get something back for him because he's going to be gone at the end of next year anyways. I wouldn't hate that at all. And he's just not doing anything in Vancouver. I think he needs a change of scenery.
I think he enjoys Vancouver a little too much. Like and the thing is I feel like Dallas wouldn't be like a good, like it would be a good fit for hockey, but it wouldn't be a good fit for like his personality. Like he's a little different. I feel like he would be mentally not good in Dallas just because
not a good mental fit. And
that's the only thing that I've ever really had against Holtby is that his mental game seems so weak at points when I could tell he was a great goalie and he made some great plays and we got a cup out of his like hot streak. But if your mental game was like a notch or two better, man, you could really be one of the greatest. But he chooses to not put a lot of energy into like mentally focusing on hockey. It feels like, after getting paid, you should be dominating in Vancouver before your deal is even done for the year. Your backup gets signed for more money. That's really bad.
And to be clear, they still brought Holtby in to be the starter. This wasn't a competition.
Exactly.
They always knew that they were going to split games because of the way the schedule works. He's just straight up getting outplayed by a younger, better version. Like that's all it is. Yeah, exactly. And what was he bringing in? $4.3 million a year for Holtby. They just gave Demko $5 million. You know what I mean? Like, come on, like that's $9.3 million towards your goalies. I just don't love it. So I think they got to pull the trigger on getting Holtby out of there. I'm trying to think of some other teams that could potentially go other than the Stars. Nothing's really coming to mind.
Send him to Buffalo.
Oh God, poor Buffalo. They just want to spend their cap money. They just want to spend it.
I mean, Buffalo, maybe. Maybe
Hall. Let's go.
Maybe Toronto. No. That could be. I mean,
they wouldn't do it. They just wouldn't do it though. They just wouldn't do it. All right, next up. Sorry. The NHL also said they won't shorten Vancouver's schedule, which I don't know how they could because they're 3 games out of a playoff spot. If they did, they would just damn them pretty much. Like that's BS. So good job, NHL. Whatever. Next up, good news, bad news. Kyle Palmieri looks like he is getting traded. So good news for him. That's great. He is going to get traded. But bad news for the Devils. You're still not going to catch Buffalo. Like, I mean, it's kind of too little, too late. I feel like they should have dumped some of these players, a handful of games ago. Oh, Edmonton, can't finish. They're on the power play. They were up really in close on Montreal there. Thought they were going to get an easy tapper. They did not. So Kyle Palmieri, to me, it all but sounds like the Bruins or the Islanders. So I'll just give you those two. Where is he a better fit?
Bruins. I feel like he's kind of like a grinder kind of guy, even though isn't he a winger?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like he would fit perfectly in like Boston. I feel like they'd find room for him on those lines. I don't know which line he would be on in Boston, but I feel like he would be a great fit. No, Nick Ritchie stays. I mean, he could be like the third line winger. I mean, he could be one of those like goon lines.
Goon lines. Get him, Kyle Palmieri, you gooner. Let's go. Let's go. All right. Next up, let's see. We got Shane Ghostafair clearing waivers for the Flyers here for Philly. Any potential trade spots for him? I mean, Philly they're not loving this guy. We had him on our fantasy waiver wire. I think wasn't it last week?
Yeah,
he's playing really well. I mean, this is just like a money management move here. You see anyone taking on his contract? Is it around $4 million a year?
Man, I'm not quite sure. If it was definitely lower, I would. I mean, I always say Washington for defense. It's just defense makes the world go round. It feels like.
Give him to me, baby. I'll take him on the Hawks. I'll do it. Yeah. I'll take him on the Hawks, bro. I about shit my pants the other day because it was April Fools and people were posting stuff like, "Oh, Duncan Keith got traded to the Canadians." I was like, rubbing my eyes, like looking at it, like, where's the April Fool's thing? Where's the April Fool? Oh, thank God, there it is. Oh my God,
yeah,
it was hurting me. It wasn't so clear cut, like, oh, Tom Brady's buying the Expos and he's going to be owner, player, coach thing. Like, obviously, take one look at that, it's fake as shit. But it was just like line trade, Keith, Montreal. This is what they get. This is what they get back. I'm like, no, keep scrolling. Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God. Stupid fucking April Fools. Pissing me off. I don't know what was worse, that or Russell Wilson saying himself that he was traded to the Bears. Like, come on, bro. Why you gotta do me like that? Why you gotta do me like that, Russ Wilson? Stop it.
Kittle got me going with him going to Jacksonville.
Oh, it's too much.
I was like, what is this? I was like, it always happens like in the morning when you look at your phone, you just kind of like just do your rounds of social media and you see that crap and you're like not even awake and you're like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah, it was driving me nuts. Philly, they brought in Cam York from University of Michigan, kind of like the late season college ad. They say he's looking good there. Looks like he's going to supplement Gostisbehere's role. Looks like he's done there. I'm not sure what that means for the rest of the season, if he's just going to get shut down, if he doesn't get traded, or if he actually does get moved. I would absolutely love to see him come to my Blackhawks. If not him, maybe Florida. They just lost Ekblad. He just went down with an injury, so I would like that as well. I don't know if Gostisbehere is necessarily a Joe Quenneville type of guy. They've got Gustav Forsling, who's playing really well down there. He was a guy that we gave you not too long ago in the fantasy waiver wire. So we'll see. I wouldn't hate that spot. I don't want to see him go to somewhere like Buffalo or even like New Jersey or somewhere like that. I could see that because they need the talent. But at the end of the day, I want to see him go to a live option. Let's see him get some playoff hockey in, right?
Yeah.
All right, next up, that's pretty much it. Let's jump into the live betting outro here. Let me pull up the lines. I know Edmonton, I still got them up 1-0. They're just coming off the power play. I guess I just don't have a book up. So just give me 1 second here while I get up Jazz Sports. If you guys haven't checked out Jazz Sports, if you still need an online sports book, be sure to use our promo code to the Hizzy. They'll match your deposit up to 150%. No limits. No limits on that. All right, so let's jump into some live betting here. Where the hell? Man, it just doesn't want to pull it up. All right. Short delay. Get the Jeopardy music for this. Did you catch Aaron Rodgers today on Jeopardy? No?
I did not, but I heard that he studied very well, and people were like kind of giving him shit about it and be like, "That's why Tom Brady's in the Super Bowl and not you." And I'm like, that is the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, let the guy like enjoy something besides football, and he seemed to have really enjoyed it.
He's gonna be awesome at it.
Yeah, I think he'll be a perfect person for it.
Right on. All right, so I got the live lines up here. We got the Bruins up over the Flyers 2-1. Right now, the over is at 6.5 goals. They are not giving me a spread here, so just the money line. Flyers right now plus 310. Is that any value you want to jump in on down 1 goal?
No, not against the Bruins.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Bruins are going to hold it to him here, and I'm still going to take the under 6.5 live. We're halfway through the game, 3 goals. But if you're telling me we got to double it and go over the top, hit the 7, I'm going to say no. So I'll take under live, under 6.5 goals here. Man, they've got the NHL way buried down here. All right, next up we've got the Jets over the Senators, up 3-1. The Jets are covering, Nick. I called it. Let's go. A little bit more than halfway through the game. 8 minutes left in the second period here. They've got the lines locked, so maybe something just happened. Someone's about to go on the power play. No, they just gave them live again. Senators, Nick, plus 1075 to win this one outright. What do you think?
The last time you said something about 1075, it ended up being a win. So
it did, but not
you
this
know
one.
What? Give me the Senators. I'm gonna take it.
Who wasn't the Islanders? Because the Islanders did lose that night. It was someone else. Was it Buffalo? Oh, yeah, because I said it was the Philadelphia Flyers versus Buffalo.
Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah,
and the Flyers came back.
Screw Philadelphia.
And the Flyers. Bastards.
How dare you let that happen against Buffalo? Like, that was embarrassing. I couldn't believe we called that wrong. It was 1075.
It was the other way around though. Buffalo blew the game. The Flyers came back. That was the whole thing. They hit the plus 1075. Yeah. It was a big route.
Give me Senators.
Yeah. No thanks. Live totals at 7.5 goals. I'm going to still take the under here. I still think that the Jets kind of cool off. They've scored a lot already, but I'm going to take under the 7.5, and I'm still under the live 5.5, the 5.5 pregame. I'm sorry. I'm still under that. We're at 4 goals right now. I say the Jets get maybe 1 more, and that's it. That's the end of the scoring here.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Probably on this power play it's happening.
Probably. Man, this mouse is taking me all over. I'm sorry. All right, next up we've got Montreal and the Oilers. Like I mentioned, the Oilers are up 1-0. Man, they're getting outshot 19-12 though. Very interesting. Right now they've got the Oilers at minus 230 on the money line. Total is at 3.5 goals. Wow, I'm going to take the over there. I do think that we can still get some scoring. At least get to 4 goals. I mean, we could get a 3-1 win here out of the Oilers still, I think. So I like that. I like that total. And I still like the Oilers at minus 230 live. What do you think?
I still like Montreal. Montreal is on the power play right now. They just got onto the power play, so they can tie it up and keep it going. I do think it's going to go to the over. I mean, you can score 3 goals in a period these days, so anything's possible, especially with the Oilers.
Paul Jarvie is getting a holding penalty. It was a pretty good sell job by the guy that was not getting held. So it was good work by him. Way to sell it.
Mm-hmm.
Like soccer players out here. Golden Knights up 1-0 on the Blues. Let's go. Fade the Blues. This might as well just be the Fade the Blues podcast over here. Golden Knights minus 300 just halfway through the first period with a 1-goal lead. Over-under is at 5.5 goals. Live, still taking the under. What do you think, Nick?
Of course, the game is the free game on NHL. So I'm going to say the Knights are still going to win. I'm going to say that they win by 2.
Let's go.
The Blues are just bad. Like, I'm just so disappointed in them.
Bad. The Blues are bad.
And then after Jordan Binghamton fake punched the other goalie, they're like, "Oh yeah, let me just give you more money for that." Like, you're embarrassing. I don't get that.
We will prepare for the next episode what the Blues record is since the Jordan Binghamton temper tantrum and re-signing. Yeah. We'll get it for you guys. Believe me, spoiler, it's bad. Just like the Blues.
And they gave him more money too. It didn't make any sense.
I don't know how I just didn't stumble along that. The Blues are bad in that tone since now. The Blues are bad. Bad to the Blues. Doom, 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 doom. All right, next up we've got the Avalanche and the Wild. Still 0-0. 12-16 left to go in the first. Avalanche still heavy favorites, minus 200 here on the money line. They've got a total of 5.5 goals. Give me the under. No scoring yet. I'm going to go that direction. What do you got here, Nick?
Yeah, give me the under. From what I'm seeing, there's only 7 shots on goal. Avalanche have only put 1 shot on goal, so it's going to be a different game than what we expect from the beginning. But I'm going to take the under on this.
Yep, I'm going to take that way as well. Just no scoring. We're already through the first period. If they're going to give you the same number that started the game and burn through half of a period, I'm going to take the under. Let's go. Let's hammer it down. Best bets we don't really have in yet. I mean, Edmonton, they're covering, so that's good. Talbot, do we have his Cam Talbot? Do we have his saves up? Do we have a total on that yet? See how we're looking.
What team is he on again?
The Wild.
The Wild. I can get that up.
They're 0-0. Just wanted to see how we're looking to start. Obviously, the Coyotes haven't taken off yet, so we'll see how that goes tonight. Just a refresher, I've got the Coyotes money line. That's one of my best bets. You can still get that in. That game hasn't started yet, so be sure to jump on them at plus 110, plus 115, pending your sports book. And I've got Cam Talbot on a prop over 30 saves tonight. He's hit over 30 saves in 5 of his last 6 games.
1 save.
Oh, that's not great. That's not great. But, hey, looks like Minnesota's probably going to cover them. They haven't been getting a lot of action in their own defensive end. I'm watching Connor McDavid dance through people playing 4-on-4. By the way, that power play that Montreal had, got rid of it really quick, took a penalty. Edmonton about to go on the power play, but they're playing just keep away in the offensive zone right now up against the Montreal Canadiens. Canadiens got a nice little breakaway here, one-on-one action. Nope. Big save, Mike Smith. All right, we'll close the show down with that. You got anything, Nick?
Nope. My Mets are up 2-0. They got the bases loaded, but they've been knocking in runs. Man, Francisco Lindor took one that I thought was out, and it was going to be a 3-run homer, and it ended up just being like hooking foul, and he just took a walk. And I was like, oh, what anticlimactic. But they're winning. They got Jacob deGrom some run support, so I'm happy right now.
Nice. Well, best of luck to you and your Mets for the rest of this evening. These NHL games are pretty close. Go hammer the Coyotes, guys. Take care. Be well.
See you.